Hey, so today we're going to be talking about how to form an LLC for your creative business. I know it's something that's kind of intimidating, kind of scary, but for us it ended up being one of the best things we could have done for our small business. And I promise it's not as scary as it may seem. So just to be clear, I'm not a lawyer, not an accountant. I'm just sharing what worked for us when we formed our LLC, Hive Quarter Co. Hopefully anything I say here will be of use to you. So let's get into it. So what is an LLC? LLC stands for Limited Liability Company, and the main pro, I guess, of having this is that it separates your business finances from your personal finances. So imagine if something were to go wrong with your business and you're sued, let's just say. Your personal assets in this case would be protected. So the LLC basically acts as a shield. So let's just say, for an example, you're a baker and you sell your baked goods at vendor markets. And let's say, you did your job, you marked down any ingredients that people might be allergic to, but somebody eats one and they still have some severe allergic reaction and they sue you. You as an individual would be protected. Your assets, so your personal bank accounts, your home, your vehicle, whatever you have of value would be protected. Basically, your business assets would be the only things at risk. So business bank account, business assets. So, if you have some sort of equipment, that type of stuff would be at risk, but not your personal stuff. So how do you form an LLC for your creative business? So I would say before you even think about filing, I recommend taking a few minutes to check 3 things. Trust me, it'll save you a ton of time and a lot of headaches later. So the first one is checking your Secretary of State's website to make sure the name of your business is even available. So just because you like a certain name for your business, or just because you've been unofficially operating as a certain name for the past however many years, doesn't mean that you can legally claim that business name. Your Secretary of State's website will usually have a search bar where you can do a business search and see what names are not available. If you skip this step and you proceed with filing the LLC with your business name and it's already taken by somebody else, your application will likely get rejected, and it's just, a time waster and more work for you in the future. So definitely check that first. The next thing I would check is to make sure that the domain you want is available. If you don't know what a domain is, it's basically like your website's address, like google.com, youtube.com. You actually have to buy your domain in order to claim it. So for example, we purchased hivequarter.com and that's our domain. So definitely check to see if the domain you want is available, because if it's not, or any variation is not available, you might not want that name, or you might not want to operate under that name, because then people might not be able to find you easily on the internet. And then the last thing I would recommend checking is social media handles. So even if you're not really big into social media right now, you might be in the future. So I would definitely check, any that you want to show up on eventually. So Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest even. I would even go as far as claiming those accounts now. That way you don't have to worry about whether or not they'll be available when you are ready. And if the specific name you're looking for is taken, maybe you can tweak it a little bit, to where it's still searchable for your brand, but maybe not exactly what you're looking for. So once you've settled on a name, now you're ready to file your LLC. And there's a couple ways you can do it. You can do it yourself through your state's official site. So for us, it's the California Secretary of State. There are also websites and other services that do this for you for a fee. So a couple examples are Busy, LegalZoom. We did ours ourselves, but only because we felt comfortable enough, because this isn't our first business. I have used Busy in the past and they were super easy. I believe we paid $125 to file our articles of organization. And then I think we put a rush fee. So all of that equaled about $125 and it was done within a couple of days. So highly recommend doing that if you're uncomfortable with the idea of doing it yourself. After you get the confirmation that your LLC is filed, now you have a legitimate official LLC name. The next step you'll want to take is to get an EIN, which is an employer identification number. That's through the IRS. This is basically like a social security number, but for your business. You'll need this when, filing your taxes. You also need it if you plan on opening a business bank account. It's just better to get it sooner rather than later. It's super easy. You just do it on the IRS website. It takes a couple minutes. Just answer a couple of quick questions and you get the number on the spot. EINs will help make filing your taxes very easy. It gives your business a lot more credibility, and obviously when you're ready to take next steps, like if you want to take out a business loan for a new piece of your business, like you can't do that without an EIN, so it's just better to do it now. So that brings us to our next step, which is opening up a business bank account. While you may not think it's necessary, obviously it's highly recommended. You definitely want to keep your business expenses and incomes completely separate from personal. This is the easiest way to do that. Like I mentioned before, you do need an EIN to open this bank account, so make sure you complete that step before you get here. And then last, just make sure you kind of check all the other requirements that you might need. It'll really depend on what your business is. So for example, if you sell at vendor markets, you're probably going to need a seller's permit, which you can get through your state. You're probably going to need a local business license. Some vendor markets do require you to have proof of that to be able to sell within city limits. If you're a food seller, like you sell baked goods, that's a whole nother story. You obviously need food handler's license and other requirements that you have to meet. So definitely look into whatever is necessary for your business and then get those applications done. Most of them require just a very small fee, or some of them are even free, but it's definitely better to get those done rather than owe fines later for not having the proper licenses, proper permits and everything. So I hope you found this video super helpful. If you would like a printable version of this checklist with links and a little bit more detailed information, you can check the link in the description. If you have questions about the process of filing for an LLC or our experience specifically, drop them in the comments. And if you like this video, or if you're looking for more content like this, subscribe and we'll see you in the next video.